and welcome to CopTubeAmerica.com, where we teach you the elements of criminal law. Hello, teens. We're on a serious subject today because a lot of you guys do a whole lot of talking, and I got to straighten you guys out. Lesson number 50, entrapment. Don't go pointing the fingers at cops and crying entrapment when you know very good and well that you did it. Okay? Don't say the cop is lying on you or it was a setup. You're watching too much TV. Hello, getting down to the nitty gritty. Yes, we are halfway there now. You had all these lessons, all the way up to 50, 1 through 50. You got to know me pretty well. Okay? Watch this. We started out with a fifth of a ream of paper. Watch this. You guys are halfway there. Whee! Okay? So, understand, cops don't have to get into a thing called lying when there's so much truth out there. Yes, there are dirty cops. Rewind. Yes, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old teens, there are dirty cops in the United States. Some, they say about 1% got into a very clean system. How they penetrated all those background checks and everything, they faked it. Yes, they do. They check top cops, mental status, their background from juvenile all the way through up to the time they applied for law enforcement. Do you guys realize how many applications are rejected? For my academy, there were over 2,000 applicants. Only 26 made it. Wow. Eligible. Wow. It's not, they had extra chairs. Believe me. And it was in the budget. But only 26? That's incredible. Wow. Now listen. My academy was made up of 3 people of color. They didn't choose them. There were a whole lot of people of color. But then there's a lot of things that go on in people's backgrounds. But it's the integrity of the person that they look at with a fine-tooth comb. We don't want officers out there lying. There were 3 women. Mm-hmm. And then the other 20 were white males. All right? Now, apply. Please do apply. Especially if you're a nice person. Especially if you're a truth-telling person. If you're filled with integrity. If you're filled with purpose. You're filled with drive. Make sure the rest of the stuff is together. All right? You can pass. Okay? We had a young man. He was just a little overweight. But he ran and ran and ran until we got that weight off. They'll let you in the academies a little overweight. Okay? Because they know they can run it off you. He has some experience. But these certified police departments are all over the United States. Sheriff departments, highway patrol, they're looking for good men and women. Okay? Now, on our federal level, they're looking for good men and women as well. And yes, you must have a college degree. All right? So let's get that. And if you have a little BLET behind you, basic law enforcement training, that's fine. But your academy will train you to that area, that set of rules, regulations, and laws. Okay? Those are your local laws, your local ordinance, your local statutes. Okay? Okay, understand that now. Infractions in their area, in their town. But these right here belong to America. Nobody owns these laws. No state wrote these laws. These laws were written by our justices. Bam. Wait a minute. Heads down, everyone. Respect. These laws were not written by a mayor. These laws came straight on out of Washington, D.C. Do not do these things, and states can add to them and make them very lengthy. And they can add to those elements, guys. That's why you got to check in your own area. I give you the fundamentals. Pretty much, if you stay away from this, they'll leave you alone. Okay? When you start and you get cops' undivided attention, yeah, but then don't do it, because there is a thing called entrapment. Now, it doesn't begin with an I, like I said in the last video. Entrapment is spelled, and look it up, E-N, and I'm looking on the paper because just like the justice do, they read everything and will show you. Ping. Let them read as I am reading. After I read it, you read it again. This is what you did. Okay? The elements. All right? You have to prove you didn't do it. And the state proves that you did. All right? Now, entrapment is spelled E-N-T-R-A-P-M-E-N-T. Entrapment. Now, elements making up the crime of entrapment. There are 4 listed here. The initiation of criminal conduct came from law enforcement and not from the person accused of the crime. Please, Lord, don't let our law enforcement get into entrapment. Let's take a moment. What did I tell you? Only 1% got through. That's a good percentage. Knowing that people do lie, and they are tricky wicked. All right? But you don't have to come in contact with a dirty cop if you're not about playing around the edges. See this? These are edges, the boundary. Quit playing around the fence. Quit gang members. You're putting yourself in harm's way. There are dirty cops out there. I knew it. Yeah. Okay? It's enough to go around acting like town crier. I knew it. I confirmed it. There are dirty cops. All right? And there are cops that will lie to get a promotion. But why are you coming in contact with them? Any cop. We don't even know who's doing it. Okay? Until something pops off, or there's with internal affairs such as that, and the case hits our door, and we look into it, or somebody dimes them out. Somebody tells on them. 13, 14-year-old, dime them out, tell them about it. Y'all smart, though. Y'all smarter than me. Quick. Number 2, it says law enforcement then persuaded the person to commit the crime. When I was working undercover prostitution, okay, the bottom line goes like this. A cop can't tell me to break the law. All right? I cannot persuade a person to break the law. You got it? You guys got it? All right, look. Or to commit a crime. It says, presenting the opportunity to commit the crime is not the same as persuading him or her to commit the crime. Presenting the opportunity. I am a prostitute walking around. I'm undercover drugs. I got drugs on me. That's not the same. Presenting a situation and then talking and moving them into that crime. All right, 2 different things. Read the words. Don't read into this. The judges made it plain and simple. Okay? You guys got these videos for 1 year. Listen. Number 3, the accused was not ready and willing to commit the crime before being approached by law enforcement. Now, you weren't going to break the law until knucklehead cop shows up. And I mean, that's the dirty cop, knucklehead cop. That's the one everybody hates. Even cops hate that because it ruins our reputation. It gets in our way. Okay? They're working against us and they're working against you. They're strictly out there for themselves. There could be 2 or 3 linked in together. I'm not even going to begin to tell you what I had to deal with when I became a member. Chief Frederick Heineman of the Raleigh Police Department, rest in peace. Peace up. Okay, he put me in his office, Internal Affairs. He came all the way to the city of Pittsburgh in 1993. Would you like to be a member of our office? Oh, sure. I ain't going to tell y'all why I was home. Oh, sure. Internal Affairs. Wow, that was on my dream and wish list. You get a dream and wish list if you want to be a cop. Yes, you do. You get to make some choices. Not all. Everybody got to serve on the line first. That's where you learn. That's where you learn. Don't be so fast to get off the line. All right? 30 years ain't going nowhere. 30 years is waiting for everybody. 25 years as a cop is waiting for everybody. Years wait for you. You don't wait for years. Bam. Years wait for you. You don't wait for years. You understand? Talk to your mom and dad about that one. All right, listen. Once the defendant raises the issue of entrapment, the government is unable to prove that the defendant was not entrapped beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, how much time will you give for entrapment if a officer breaks this law? 0 days to 0 years. Prove this occurred, you win your case. But you got to prove it. And it's hard because officers who are dirty have been at it for some time. And you need, there's a lot, there's some dirty cops, they hate teenagers. They hate them with a passion. And they will lie on, to pad their own career, some, and some are just out to get y'all. Not all, but how do you find out who it is? Just like a thief. They're sly as a fox, guys. Don't hate cops. Just don't get entangled. All right, and if you feel as though this has happened to you, you have to go to Internal Affairs. I believe it was entrapment. Based upon what? Not hearsay, not your feelings, this. And please do go. It's called the Internal Affairs Office, okay, at your local police department. All right? Penalties for entrapment. Damage that occurred and occurred. $0 because you're not in trouble. Cost of court? Now, that's a little different now. I don't know too many judges that will dismiss the cost of court because the case had to be heard. That might be a bill that the state or the county has to swallow, but you can ask for a dismissal or your attorney or your lawyer, whoever representing you. All right? If you're representing yourself, please, in a case like this, do not represent yourself. That's just my advice. Take it. All right? A conspiracy charge can be added to most crimes, which may increase or double your sentence. Guess what? It's not going to happen because you didn't do anything. But entrapment, that's deep. That's deep because it all has to deal with the lie. But the bottom line is this. And don't go you throwing up entrapment because you see this one right here. The law enforcement then persuaded the person to commit the crime, presenting the opportunity to commit the crime is not the same as persuading him or her to commit the crime. Now listen, number 3. The accused was not ready or willing to commit the crime before being approached by law enforcement. You go rob a bank, you did it. Don't get that to it. Selling drugs. Okay? You would not have been selling them, the judge will say, or ready to break the law had the officer not been. There are undercover officers, trust me, And they're on assignments for years. And trust me, you can accuse your friends. You don't know who working undercover. Entrapment is really intertwined. And that officer, him or her, and majority of them are males, sorry to say, all right, they'll get you. They determine they want that arrest, they'll get you. And they will lie. So that's just one of the downfalls. Okay? There's nothing pure here on this earth. Stop. If you're a person that looks for purity everywhere you go, stop it. Move to Utah, up in the mountains, and even the birds won't even act right. And even a deer fight. And even ants. A red ant will fight a black ant in a minute. And a black ant will fight a red ant in a minute. Now, who started it? I don't know. But put the two ants together and watch what happens. Them two of them go to war. All right? So, let's move forward on this. This is very simple. But understand, there are dirty cops. Need I repeat this again? There are cops that have lost their way. They started out fine, but they lost their way. There are cops that say, you know what? I haven't gotten promoted. I need to do this to pad my resume here at the department. I legitimately did some wrong things and I got in trouble. So now I got to make myself look good. Okay? Some officers want to arrest so bad, but you should not be anywhere near that. My mother said, how do you get burnt by a fire if you're nowhere near it? How do you get hit by a car if you're in the house reading your books? Getting ready to be a doctor, lawyer, preacher, teacher, rapper, hip-hop artist. Working, going back and forth to your job so you can buy a microphone. You can buy your own equipment. That's nice. That's nice. Okay? Earning your own way. Mom, you don't have to give me that money. I'm going to get a little job. Yeah, but I don't want you to get entangled, Mom. I'm not going to get, as long as I got cop tube, I already know. I know, somebody started getting into this stuff, I'm away from them. There's so many dirty cops, I don't even want to come nowhere near them. Not even a mall cop. It said law enforcement. Could be campus police. There's some out there that hate college students after so many years. You get in college, oh yeah, they'll get you. They will damage and just get you kicked off. Oh, it's so sad. You can't finish your major or your minor. Can't go to more basketball games. You just kicked off the campus. You kicked out of the school. They love getting rid. And don't be nobody's target in the subject. Don't be nobody's guinea pig either. The officer got to find somebody they can work and work their magic on so they can be good. They sharpen the tools. And so don't you be the one. And if an officer asks you for sex or anything, walk away. That can lead to entrapment. Okay? Need I say anything else? Don't play with cops. They're not supposed to be playing around anyway. All right? Not like this. Oh, man, I was just, No. Internal Affairs. Take this officer to Internal Affairs and have your Cop Tube America handbook on you. Please do. So everyone will see exactly what you're talking about. Don't rely on every officer having a memory. That's a lot to remember word for word. Because the law is word for word. And that's why everything must be read word for word. It didn't say look into the meaning. Word for word. I don't care how well versed you are about the subject. No. The elements must be read word for word. Remember, states can add. I'm giving you the fundamentals. Get started. Now, you can go, I put in the back of your Cop Tube America handbook some notes, and you can add page so. You know, not that I left anything out, that there's two more elements and put your state. So you say added that. Okay? Not all states add to them. They're pretty much satisfied. Okay? I think Maryland's pretty much, I heard Maryland was a state that's pretty much satisfied with what the justices have done. Washington, D.C., our district, I think they're one of the ones too. I'm not quite sure. I didn't study that part. All right? But I'm giving you food for your soul. What am I giving you? Food for your soul. All right? Please. Nothing. Now, I got to stop. Let me tell you this before I say see you later. I got stopped. And this zealous officer accused me of being drunk. Now, she put me with the Internal Affairs office. Hello. I arrest officers. I deal with officers. I keep officers on the straight and narrow. That's what Internal Affairs is. Okay? Some investigators got different departments in Internal Affairs. Okay, now listen. Have you been drinking? I gave him, name, rank, serial number, driver's license, insurance. I had it all in order. I just pulled out my house. He comes swooping behind me. He didn't know me from Adam. Got out, it was raining. And he accused me of drinking and being high. Oh, no, not me. Johnny, help me, Johnny, help me. What? Trust me, I might smoke a cigarette. Closed, that is. Because I'm allergic to American-made cigarettes. But, hey, to each his own. But drinking and driving ain't my stick. Okay? I love being sober. Pretty cool. I stay pretty much on a natural high. That's my thing. Get my swag on. My swag is legal, baby. It is not introduced. I don't have liquid courage. I have courage, period. Okay? I don't need a bottle for my strength. I don't need a joint to escape. I don't need no drugs to put me on a high to make me think, no, I am. All right. All right now, know what you know, guys. I'm not fake. I'm 100%. 100%. There's nothing in my system. I am 100%. Know what you know. And I love it. I love it. And I love when I meet people who want. That's why I like teens. They ain't all messed up. Okay? Bills paid. Everything straight. 100%. Okay? So now, he stops me and he accuses me. And I thought about it real quick. I said, maybe I should show him who I am. I said, no, let me let him just keep on going. And he kept on going. And I said, just a moment, sir. He said, yes. While he was on a roll, I presented him my picture and my ID. He almost pooped in his pants. And I said, young man, young man, young man. He tried to tell me who his father was. I did not care. Young man, young man, young man, you have been caught in the act. Stop messing with the public. Don't lie on me. Don't even inch that away. I don't drink. And I don't smoke. Okay? And I'm not on any drugs. I just pulled out my driveway. And your car was way up the hill. And you're flying down the street I live on. 35 miles an hour. How did you get down here so quickly? Well, you're with Internal Affairs? Yes, sir. And he stood out there and backwards pedaled so fast. If his daddy, good man. It was an officer, good man. But standing, boy, who'd you stop? Burnett. We can't get her to come to a party. Okay? But understand that. Wow. Alcohol? He said he smelled it. Oh, get out of here. Weed? He said he smelled that too. He must have been smoking it himself. I don't care. Lying is illegal. Lying is against the law. Lying is immoral. Lying is a big old excuse to try to be somebody that you can't be, or that you're not, or you're not taking time out to be. You could be a wonderful officer, but don't lie on the public. But see, guys, it happened to me. You're going to try to fix a case. Ah! Fix a case against me? Oh, the judges know me. Lisa? You had the right one for you to be locked up and for your career to end. But you got certainly the wrong one when it comes to drinking alcohol and smoking something. But he crapped in his pants. He stood out in the rain. That was his punishment enough, and I think he learned. And if you're out there, hi. I think he learned. He stood out in the rain and got wet. And I said, well, don't you think you need to be getting back in your car? With a smile. I always smile. I have a good time. I have a good time with people. Meanwhile, I'm like a relative to everybody. Well, she acts like my sister. She acts just like my cousin. Yes, I do. All right. So, but boy, he got back in that car, and I knew from then on he learned his lesson. He came down the right street. Internal affairs. So, if you guys got a problem with officers, read and reread. They said you got to read something 7 times before you get it right. Okay? So read and reread. That's why you must have these videos for 1 year. And then on top of that, please just polish up. Polish up with your books now, guys. Polish up. Do your flashcard. Have fun. Be sharp with your stuff. But don't get smart with officers, because you could run into somebody like me and did a darn thing to you and wonder why you got all that attitude. Stop it. Boom. Don't break these. All right? All right. Let's get better. We're supposed to get better. You guys are our future. All right, what did Whitney Houston say? Teach them well. Teach them well. And let them lead the way. That's all needs to be said. Teach them well. And let them lead the way. Teach them all the beauty they have inside. Give them a sense of pride. To make it easier, let the children's laughter. Everybody's looking for a hero. Let me be your hero. Will you? Let Cop to America be your hero. I'm willing to. I'm going to go to mile with you guys. All right? Play that song. Listen to the words. We're going on the trespass in number 51. All right, moving forward. We're on the other side of 50. Other side of 50, other side of 50, other side of 50, other side of 50. Other side of 50. We got to keep it fresh. We got to loosen up our limbs. Can't be stiff. Okay? Because the law is not stiff. The law is just, it is what it is. These are safety measures because somebody got hurt. But look up that song, okay? Getting back to that. Go ahead, Whitney. Wherever you may be. Looking down on us. All right. Move forward.
The weight of my mistakes depends on how I feel. Don't let it bring you down. The weight of what I say but I don't wanna bring you down, down, down.